Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome my classmates and my audience here. Greeting to you all. Tonight I'll be presenting my famous speech, and it's going to be about Governor Christie of New Jersey and whether or not he has a new style in governing and in politics. This started off a couple of weeks ago. I was watching a CNN report, and it mentioned that Governor Christie was not invited to a CPAC meeting this year. And being that he's a Republican and CPAC is an annual gathering for conservative Republicans to usually sit down and discuss strategy, it was quite interesting, and it raised a few questions in my head as to whether he or why he was not invited and what does that tell us about him. So for that reason, he has become my topic of discussion tonight, and I'd like to start off with a quick synopsis about him. According to Wikipedia, he's obviously the 55th governor of New Jersey. He's also the first to win a statewide election in about 12 years. He did win by 55% of the vote against John Corzine in 2009. Now, many of us who live in New Jersey, we are not accustomed to seeing our governors on national TV, unless you watch local channels, which I am not personally a big fan of. So why is it that he is an exception? I think we've seen him more recently when it came to his extensive leadership style in Hurricane Sandy and the famous tour that he had with President Obama, showing him the aftermath and the devastation that we've been marred with here in New Jersey, and how is he dealing with the situation. In addition to that, his name also came up as a possible or a potential presidential nominee, and in the 2012 elections. Many were waiting for him to run, many expecting him to be running, and for whatever reason, he's just decided not to, and I quote him saying to some reporters, short of suicide, I don't know how else to convince you people that I'm not going to be running for this election. He also told us New Jerseyans that we're stuck with him for some time, which I think is not a very bad thing. So why is Christie that exception? Why do we see more coverage about him on national TV as opposed to his predecessors, which did not really appear that much? In my opinion, I think his fame is attributed to the fact that he is able to transcend beyond party lines. For one, he has a position on gun control, for example, that is not really shared by many of his fellow Republicans. He's also signed into law an Obamacare Medicaid expansion, another piece of legislation that is not shared or agreed on by many of his fellow Republicans within the GOP. Now, that being said, okay, those are two important facts, but why is it, or what is it that makes Christie influential in the politics of New Jersey, and what has he done since taking office? I think this is the most important part of the presentation here. In my opinion, Christie represents a long-needed change to depart beyond party lines. He's inspired many of us, and he does hold at least a 74% approval rating according to a Quinnipiac poll. Another thing that he's done since taking office is that he made it seem possible that the state's chronic budget problem could actually be fixed. He's tackled a lot of educational issues and put legislation in place to try to make teachers more effective in the classroom, and looked into and revisited the tenure law here in New Jersey. And among the things he's done also on the economic side was trying to stimulate the economy, especially the real estate market, by capping property taxes to 2%. According to NJ.gov, he's managed to balance the budget more than once with no major tax increases, just through a series of reforms and accountability. Now, all that is really important, and it's a lot of accomplishments in his resume, but I think the one that I really value the most is the fact that he's able to be beyond party lines. We all watch the gridlock in Washington. We all watch our Congress divided between two ideologies that often come to an impasse. Christie is able to look beyond that. He's able to win the support of the ordinary people that have voted for him, that he knows very well are not affiliated to a specific party. A lot of them are independents or even have no affiliations whatsoever. They voted for a man that they want to work as hard as he can to make the promises that he made to them come true and to make life possible in the state. And he's known to favor that, and he's known to put more emphasis and more attention on what needs to be done versus what fellow members of the same party would be thinking about. He cares less about how would Democrats or how would Republicans view or judge or approve or not approve the measures he's taking. He looks towards one goal, which is how to pass legislation that works for New Jersey and works for us. And whether or not we agree with it, at least I still respect the fact that he's able to think outside the box and not be bound by the typical and traditional party ideology that I think is going to potentially be damaging for our politics and our political system here in the United States. And I'm looking forward to seeing more politicians like Christie in the near term, as we are definitely in a dire need for people like him. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this, and have a great night.